LeBron James came back from his ankle injury for one game, and he was not himself. I think he had 8 turnovers, 17 points. So Ty Lue has decided to now shut him down for the rest of the preseason, and here's Ty Lue explaining his decision.
He didn't practice today. No, he's experienced some soreness, so he won't practice tomorrow. He won't play on Friday either. So pretty mad, pretty pissed off, but, I mean, it is what it is.
Okay, 2 things. One, I totally agree. Shut him down. There's no reason that he needs to play in the preseason, especially if he's got a little bit of an ankle injury. But 2, Ty Lue is lying when he says that LeBron was pissed off. He wasn't pissed off. He was very happy. And, if I'm Ty Lue, do you get sick at any point of being the mouthpiece? Because you know that that's what he was told to say. Does he have to say it?
Does anybody buy into the fact that LeBron was upset?
No.
That's the dumbest. Why even put that out?
I agree. I'm glad that we agree on this. Yes. And finally, in more LeBron news, J.R. Smith is absolutely frustrated, those are his words, by being benched, or going to the bench, and he says he's embracing his new Cavs role, but he's going to the bench because they have to make room for LeBron's best friend, Dwayne Wade. I just see a lot of Cavs problems brewing right now. Yesterday, Kevin Love said that he didn't know he was moving to the 5 until LeBron told him. And then now you've got J.R. Smith, who's already frustrated that he has to go to the bench to make room for Dwayne Wade. This just seems like some chemistry issues waiting to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I want to talk about this. This is going to be one of my rants later today, but I don't think Boston's significantly better than last year because they gave up Olenek and IT and Avery Bradley and Jay Crowder. I think they're better, but they're going to be much more functional. This Cleveland roster is a swap meet. It's weird. It's old guys. LeBron's buddy, a former rival, Jay Crowder. Kevin Love moves to the 5. Isaiah Thomas won't play for the first 4 months. Listen, you can some things in sports are easy to predict. Like you can watch certain things and go, you know what? The San Francisco 49ers this year, they're rebuilding. They won't be good. Here's something I'll predict. The Cavaliers they're going to have a lot of dysfunction this year.
Well, I'm so glad that you're coming around to this because for a long time you were saying that the Cavs were better off in this trade than the Celtics.
I think their roster's really talented, but it's a bunch of egos and all these guys are wealthy. They're not like Jason Tatum for the Celtics, Gordon Hayward. Like Gordon Hayward's good, but he's not like, hey, he's not talked about. Rose, Wade, LeBron, JR. These guys are all like 30 and wealthy and entitled, and there's a lot of stuff with them.
Well, also so Kyrie also had some comments, which we'll talk about later, but Kyrie is the guy who left because he didn't see eye to eye with LeBron. And now we're seeing Kevin Love and J.R. Smith kind of say similar things. So I think people are being more open about how they feel like LeBron is the GM, the coach, the player, the everything. And I think it's going to kind of come to a head this year.
You're not the only one who thinks that. Kristine with the news.
Here's another example of that. This time it's Isaiah Thomas talking about being traded away from the Celtics to the Cavs. He said, none of it made any sense. It still doesn't make any sense. I'm still asking what the blank happened. It's a trade you make in NBA 2K. It's not a trade you make in real life. So obviously he's still sour.
Sure.
I understand why his feelings are hurt, but I think what he's saying is it's a trade you see in NBA 2K and not in real life because NBA 2K, there's no emotion or feelings involved. And he's saying that they shouldn't have done this, but it is a business.
By the way, Isaiah Thomas gave everything to Boston, and if he got his feelings hurt, I totally get it. Can you imagine if this was what we went through? That you were traded for somebody else or I was traded?
Well, we'd also be making significantly more money.
But again,
so
money doesn't solve resentment.
It doesn't solve everything.
That's a myth. It doesn't solve a lot.
I completely agree with you. I would be more willing to be traded if I was making $20 million a year.
Fine.
And I had the summers off.
Again, but at some point, they're like, you're not as good as him. You're not as good as her. You're not. By the way,
it hurts.
And your friends see it, and your family see it, and people chirp in social media. You got traded for, sometimes we don't understand this. Players have a right to get their feelings hurt. Can you imagine being a dentist, an accountant, a teacher, and you were traded for another one? It'd be so weird.
I completely agree. It's got to be a really awful feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't think money solves everything.
You got to move your family. You live in a nice house in, Arizona, and hey, you're moving.
Well, yeah, that's the worst part. But it's also like you kind of know what you're getting into when you sign up.
Yeah.
And they also get the perks of having $20 million as your income, 20 million plus. But I will say this about your ex's theory. I don't think you're over your ex until you stop talking about them.
Maybe that's true.
Otherwise, why are you talking about them?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some truth in that, yeah.
Okay. And finally, reporters read those comments that Isaiah Thomas just made to Danny Ainge.
Yeah.
So Danny now knows about them. And here he is. He's saying that he's disappointed that Isaiah feels that way.
Isaiah came out today and said he might not speak to you again because he was a little upset with how things played out.
Did he really? You know, that's the hard part of the job. I mean, I know that there's a lot of feelings that go on when these type of things happen. I was a player that was traded twice, so I understand his sentiments, but, you guys know how much I love Isaiah. He's a great kid, and I wish him the best.
I completely buy it. Danny is a very shrewd businessman. He'll do what he needs to do to get things done. But I do believe they really, really did like Isaiah Thomas. It was the same with Avery Bradley. Sure. They didn't want to get rid of Avery Bradley, but they had to do what they had to do at some point. Got to
give to get in the NBA. You got to give to get. You're going to give up draft picks. You're going to give up stars. You got to get something in return. So that's just you're not going to get Kyrie Irving
exactly
for a
nothing.
second round draft pick.
No.
You got to give them some 20-point a game dude.
And if you have a chance to get Kyrie, you get Kyrie.
Right. Kristine with the news.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.